Welcome back to the Triple Crown News Minute presented by Kentucky Equine Research, world leaders in equine nutrition. I'm Ray Paulick with Chelsea Hackbarth. Well, it's finally here, Chelsea. It's been a long and weird trip, but it's Kentucky Derby week. And what to you are some of the bigger stories of the week?
Well, the draw put probably the three top betting choices all next to each other on the far outside. So that's sort of an interesting twist this year. They're not all spread out through the brand new 20 stall starting gate.
Do you think that's an advantage or a disadvantage to those three horses?
Oh, this year it's absolutely an advantage. Tis the Law doesn't care to run on the inside of horses. Authentic on the far outside will get a clear run towards the lead, and Honor AP should be able to fold over without getting in trouble or getting stuck behind horses as well.
I tend to agree with you, and with this new starting gate, it's eliminating that gap between the that we've had in the past between the main gate and the other gate, which caused, I think, a lot of the chaos in past derbies where horses, tend to kind of veer left out of the auxiliary gate and cause problems to the horses on the outside of the main gate. And let's hope that it's a clean start. It is a very long run from the top of the stretch to the first turn, so the horses on the outside have a great chance to sort themselves out and get positioned. So I tend to agree with you, and I'm sure that Barclay Tagg was happy to be out there versus being 1, 2, 3, 4, where if you break a step slow you can really get buried.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Though they ran a test on the new gate, the second race on Tuesday's card at Churchill, and they still had a little bit of bumping coming out of it. So it's not a fix-all for the Kentucky Derby start.
Yeah, and as we've reported, this gate is a little bit different. It's not quite as much room as the old gate for the assistant starters. I guess they're going to have 18 assistants in there with these horses, as they've always had with each starter. The U.S. is the only, or North America is the only place where there are assistant starters in every stall, usually for runners. You look around the world, this gate came from Australia. There's no assistant starters in the gates there. So this gate was built for the Derby, but it's a little different than the old gate for sure. Each stall is a little bit, I think the starter said there's more room for the horse, but maybe less room for the assistant starter.
Yeah.
The other thing that's a little bit unusual this year is that we're talking about 18 entered, not 20 as in the past.
That, and for the first time since 2013, when the points system was introduced, there will be 2 horses in the gate without any points at all.
Yeah, I remember, as the saying goes, I'm old enough to remember when. I'm old enough to remember when there were surprise starters in the Kentucky Derby before there was any kind of a point system, before 20 horses was the norm, and some owner might have had maybe too much to drink earlier in the week and said, I'm going to enter my maiden in the Derby. And on entry day, there'd be some horse where everybody said, who the heck is this horse? And we kind of had one of those moments this week. I'm not suggesting the horse is owned by somebody whose owner had too much to drink, but I don't know. You get to this stage, you've seen what Tis the Law can do at 1.25 miles, winning the Travers Stakes. You have to wonder if you've got a horse that doesn't have any points, doesn't have any experience. I don't know. It's a little bit surprising to me that you'd have horses that don't have points.
Ray, it's the Kentucky Derby. They only get to run in it one time in their life. It's 2020. Anything can happen, as Dale Roman says.
Well, and actually, one of those 2 horses, he's Could he win?
Money Moves,
Yeah,
trained by Todd Fletcher.
yeah.
He's only had 3 starts. He lost one of them, but he was facing older horses in an allowance race. There's no reason he's not a nice horse. He'll need the right trip and he'll need to make another step up. But it's a Fletcher horse with Javier Castellano in the saddle. You know, you can't totally throw him out.
Well, the third thing that kind of let's talk about is as far as uh, this year we've gone through Derby weeks where there's been no news as far as horses that weren't in the starting field, and unfortunately, when entries were taken, we got word that Art Collector was out, and you got to know you've got to know trainer Tommy Drury quite a bit, and I don't know share your thoughts as far as
Man,
the
I
fact that
think
this horse is not in.
you absolutely have to respect the horseman that Tommy Drury is. Um, I don't know too many people that over a small scratch like that on the back of a horse's hoof would immediately say, no, no Derby. He needs time to heal from this. It's probably equivalent to a paper cut on your foot since they run on their feet. But Tommy's the kind of person that if everything's not going absolutely right, he's not going to put a horse in the starting gate. And we don't have enough of that at the top level of this sport. So I think it's important to recognize and give special credit when we do see things like real horsemanship at the top levels.
Totally agree. The other thing about this situation with Art Collector is probably a few years ago you could have treated that minor irritation with an anti-inflammatory that you can't use today because of the much stricter medication rules.
Absolutely. That was one of the other reasons Tommy Drury gave when he announced the scratch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll be right back after this word from Kentucky Equine Research to tell you who we like in this year's Derby.
Horse feeds and supplements developed by Kentucky Equine Research are research tested and race proven. For over 30 years, top trainers and veterinarians have relied on science, technology, and products from Kentucky Equine Research to fuel top performance from the breeding shed to the sales ring and the track. Look for KER products and learn more at KER.com. Kentucky Equine Research, world leaders in equine nutrition.
Well, Ray, it's been a lot of fun picking against you on the Derby Trail this year. I think I'm ahead. I'm not totally sure.
You're ahead. You're moving like a tremendous machine.
Well, who do you have this time, Ray? Let's see if you can beat me.
Well, it's not often you can say that usually you used to say, I think he can get 1.25 miles for the Derby, right? With Tiz the Law, you can say, I know he can get 1.25 miles because he won the Travers at 1.25 miles like a champion. He's beaten all the horses that I think are the best of the East, but he hasn't beat the best of the West. And in my mind, that's Honor AP. I saw the horse as a 2-year-old make his first start at Del Mar last year. He made an eye-catching move. He didn't win that day, but I said, wow, that horse looks impressive. And he's done nothing since then to change my mind. And I didn't really like his last race in the Shared Belief, where he finished second, but I don't think he was really tightened up that much for that race, and it was a weird race anyways. I think Honor AP is going to pose a minor upset, second choice in the betting of Tiz the Law in this year's Derby. Who do you like?
Well, I have to agree with you. Tiz will be hard to beat. He's done nothing wrong this year. But at the same time, I'm not betting a 3 to 5 favorite in the Kentucky Derby. There's too many horses and there's too much that can go wrong. I'm actually going to go with a long shot on top. I really like Enforceable. He's been touting himself in the mornings. He's been happy, feeling good. Assistant trainer to Mark Casse, David Carroll, has been getting on the colt himself in the mornings and just I mean, watching this horse train, he's in the best shape he's been in. He's a deep closer, and there may not be a ton of pace in this year's Derby. But that said, he's enforceable, and Tyler Gaffleone are breaking near the rail. So there's a chance that Gaffleone gets that Calvin Burrell-esque ride up the inside rail in the stretch and posts a giant upset for me. I'll be hoping.
Yeah, the one thing we have not seen crazy fractions in the Derby in recent years to set things up for a mind that bird type of run, but we'll see. It's been a strange year. Why not have an upset in the Derby? So that's going to do it for this.
Dale Roman said, it's 2020. Anything's possible.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Triple Crown News Minute presented by Kentucky Equine Research. We'll see you down the road for the final leg of the Triple Crown. That's right, the final leg of the Triple Crown in the Preakness Stakes.